Hi, this is Aiden's Trail, and today I will be doing a Q&A video. So let's get straight into it. So first question is, what sparked your interest in this? So I used to live in Virginia, and I absolutely loved the mountains and the scenery surrounding the trail. And after we moved to flatland, my mom made the joke that I could totally hike the Appalachian Trail, and so I kind of just took that and latched onto it, and kind of worked my life out so that I would be able to graduate in time to do that. So yeah, all of this was sparked by a simple comment from my mom. Second question is, how much money are you bringing? So with me, I'll have probably $75 in cash. So not too much, but then I'll also have my debit card, and my bank account has substantially more money, just my general funds. Third question is, where do you plan to get food? So I plan to get food in trail towns, and I guess a similar aspect to this is, what do I do in trail towns? Which they are basically resupply points where I can stock up on food, actually take a shower, and wash my clothes, and then I can just spend some time relaxing. That's where I'll take zeros, which are days that you just don't hike, you let your body rest. So you can just do a lot of fun things. You can socialize, kind of learn about the town, whatever piques my interest. Fourth question is, how will I keep myself entertained? So a large part of this will have to do with whether or not I am hiking solo, or if I am hiking with someone that I've met on the trail. If I'm hiking with someone, then that should be easy. Conversation, different small group games, pretty simple. For when I'm on my own, part of it will just be me hiking. I like to listen to a lot of music, and then also probably listening to the scriptures, because I've been trying to get better at that, so that'll probably take up some of my time. Fifth question is, will you have any source of internet? So I will probably have a source of internet, at least spotty. Since the East Coast, there's a decent amount of civilization, so when I'm hiking closer to places that would have internet, I will obviously have internet. My phone also has satellite, but obviously that's just for essential functions. So like, for instance, I would love to be able to publish a daily video on YouTube, but that may not end up being possible. Still kind of trying to figure out exactly how that would work, just because I don't know if I can do that with satellite. Sixth question is, what are you most scared about? What is your biggest challenge? At least, what do I think it will be? So biggest challenge, I think, will probably, at least biggest physical challenge, is going to be the rain. I think that's going to be kind of hard to weather. In terms of my biggest challenge overall, definitely the mental game, I think. I think that the thing that I'm most scared about is that I'll get on the trail and that my confidence will waver to some extent. So I basically set myself the standard of do or die, where it's like, I'm going to get it done, because it's that important to me. And that's one thing that I've read, is that people that succeed are the people that can envision themselves getting to the end, and the end is the thing that they want more than anything else. So I'm trying to replicate that. Question 7, how have you prepared, both mentally and physically? So physically, obviously, I've gotten all my gear. I've tried to keep up good, physicality. I've done different workouts to try and strengthen my legs, just so that I can hike decently, because I don't have any mountains around to practice on. Mentally, kind of just tried to prepare myself for the things that I may encounter, but a lot of it just ends up being what happens on the trail. So next question, question 8, are you going solo? I kind of addressed this earlier. I start out with my mom for like the first 9-ish days, and then after that I am going solo. But that doesn't necessarily mean I won't meet other people along the trail. There's a huge trail culture, so oftentimes other thru hikers we'll kind of meet together and you'll hike for a day or a couple of weeks even, and you can kind of just go in and out of these small groups. So kind of just depends on if I feel like hiking with someone or if I feel like going it alone. Question 9 is, what are you going to gain from this? Obviously, I don't know all the things that I'm going to gain from this, but I think that I will gain a lot of perseverance and a lot of experience on how to get through things when it is an absolute struggle, because this is not going to be easy, and it's hard enough that it to some extent makes me quite worried. But I think that that's a good thing, and I think that it's going to be a good test to be able to get through that and to be able to learn from that experience of being able to do hard things, even if it's not necessarily fun all the time, if it's not always enjoyable, and I need to expect that. So yeah, I think that besides that, I'll definitely gain a lot of experience in just hiking and in being like a lot more physically fit. Yeah. Question 10 is, considering unpredictable weather, what is your plan to stay warm and dry? This is one that I hadn't considered as much until I had my small excursion in Tetaguchi State Park. But a lot of it is that I understand that I'm going to get wet. The Appalachians have so much rain, so there's no way to avoid getting wet. But I have done all that I can to make sure that the things I need to stay dry will. For instance, my backpack is waterproof. I have a rain shell, and then everything inside of my backpack is a pack liner, which will be another layer. And then inside of that, I have stuff sacks, which are also waterproof. So basically a bunch of different layers to be able to keep my most important gear from being wet. That way, at least when I set up camp, even if my tent is wet, my sleeping bag and my sleeping pad will be dry. And that way, if I have to battle through a day, that's okay. But sleeping in the cold and wet is honestly probably the main physical thing that worries me, because I'm not always the best with that. Now on to some fun ones, just random questions that I saw. Question 11 is, what is your favorite smell and scenery when hiking? My favorite smell is probably the smell that comes right after it's rained. Really like that. Just the atmosphere, the smell, just the way that everything looks. It's great. Question 12 is, aren't you scared by all of the Appalachian mountain folklore? No, I'm not. I personally don't believe in that stuff, at least to the large extent, but I will make sure to report back as to anything that does go astray. Question 13 is, what music will I listen to on the trail? I listen to a decent amount of different music, so I have no idea exactly what I will be listening to at one point or the other, but one thing that can be guaranteed is that I will definitely be listening to BYU Focal Point, just because that is my go-to listen, because I'm kind of basic like that, and I'm a choir kid. So, question 14, final question, is what gear item is the most expensive, and what one are you most excited to use? So, most expensive is probably my tent, I think. So this is the Big Agnes UL2, I believe. It's relatively pricey, but it's very lightweight, it's very nice, and I expect it to last me at very least all of the trail, if not a while after that, so it's a very good tent. As to which piece of gear I'm probably most excited to use, it's probably my camera, just because I'm excited to be able to take some really cool photos. So yeah, thank you all for submitting your questions. Sorry that I didn't get to all of them. I tried to wrap some up so that this video wouldn't be terribly long. But thank you and have a good rest of your day. This is Aiden's Trail signing out.